Okay, we should be theoretically live. Woo! Okay, a little bit like half a minute later than what I was expecting. This took a bit longer, but welcome everybody. Today's Halloween special, man. I cannot believe that I kind of restarted my channel in the beginning of last October. Oh yeah, I think for people that don't know, I always forget to put my microphone next to my face, so nobody's listening to me. Okay, anyway, no harm done, no harm done. Okay, hi everyone. I guess now you should be able to hear me pretty well, and everything should be all okay. Please let me know. I am back with the Halloween special. So I had this idea that I don't know why I wanted to do pumpkins again. I mean, I did last week pumpkins, but I was like pumpkins and potions and everything Halloweeny, and I was just remembering what I did last year. Last year I started actually, and I did an entire Inktober. Yeah, I was doing Inktober like pretty much to the T. I mean, I did the entire Inktober last year. This year, I did not have the chance to do that. And I knew that. I knew before October that I wasn't going to have the time to do it because, man, sometimes life just gets in the way, right? But doesn't mean that we need to let Halloween go, right? I mean, come on. It's Halloween, so we should just have some fun. And I just did something quick just before the live stream. By the way, this is I drew this one just before the live stream. If you're wondering what paper it is, this is Stonehenge cold press. I might have made a mistake in the description, but I'll update the description a bit later on. Anyway, let me show you. This is how it looks like. It says Stonehenge Aka cold press. It's a good watercolor paper. I had it laying around and I just didn't want to use my arch. I don't know why I didn't want to use my arches, but doesn't matter. It's cold press. It's 100% cotton. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, down. Let's get going. I just wanted to start with the pumpkin. So I had some pumpkins. They're the normal pumpkins, and these are the weird ones. The ones that are more taller. And I'm just gonna do them, and then the flowers, I just added some flowers because why not, and some random stuff. And in here there's a potion with a skull. Do you guys remember this skull? Because this skull used to be from my previous Inktober. Where was it? Oh yeah, if you remember, I had actually even a sticker. Like, this was one of my stickers from last Inktober, and I'm going to put it live in my Etsy shop soon because I had a restock. But yeah, this is kind of similar from last year. So let's get going. The question was, and by the way, for whoever's watching, welcome. The question was whether I should do a skull here or whether I should do a pumpkin. And I just decided to do the pumpkin separate because this looks more like a really cool sticker, right, with the pumpkin under the water and so on. I'll think about it, but never mind, right? And then we're just gonna do this one with the skull because why not? Okay, so Halloween special, man. It's amazing. It's been a year where I've tried to post more regularly and open my channel and do a lot more art, and I have to say that I am amazed by what I've done so far. And this is how to say, like previously, before I started my, and let me get this, before I started again with my YouTube channel, you would have said like, why did you start that, Claudia? Like, you know, I started as a way of me getting to do more art. So I used to do maybe one or two pieces max a year, right? And that is not enough for me to, I mean, I used to do doodling, but not enough to say, yeah, Claudia, you're learning and you're improving, and you know, you're practicing. And I wasn't sure if I should practice every day or not. I mean, practicing every day is not really realistic. Like, who's practicing every day? Honestly, I don't have time for that. Even when I was doing Inktober last year, I used to do three pieces in one day, so that, you know, I had the other days free. So, you know, but I just wanted to do more. I wanted to do more, and you know, this is why I started this channel, in a way to keep me creating. And I said that even if I do 2 live streams, that was my goal, to do 2 live streams every week for an entire year, see what it goes. Like, if I do that minimum, it's already more pieces and more art that I've ever done beforehand, right? And of course, you always dream, and you always have these big dreams that I'm going to do live streams, and I'm gonna do videos and vlogging and so on. And you know, life always catches you unawares, and it's good to just take a moment to realize that my initial goal was correct, and I tried to follow that to the T. And of course, I did some more than just live streams, but that was just let's say a bonus, right? It's just a bonus. I'm not I am proud of what I've achieved in last year. Anyway, I promised you guys that this is gonna be the Halloween special, and we're gonna, you know, look back what happened in the last year, and we're gonna also talk about some spooky stories, because you know, this is where we're at. It's Halloween, so why not do spooky? Okay, so the first spooky story that I wanted actually to talk with you guys, and this is this was the time when I used to live in Romania, and it happened to my uncle. So my uncle used to be a pretty cool guy, and he wasn't really believing in a lot of things, right? But my aunt, who I also love very much, she was a lot into reading these paranormal journals, and you know, all of these stories about ghosts and aliens, and oh my god, there was an alien sighting and all that stuff, right? She used to have all of these crazy magazines, and she used to, you know, read them. And you know, something must have gotten in my uncle's head, because he came one day from work, and he was alone in the house, and you know, his work was pretty heavy, because he used to be a metal worker. So he used to make like the propellers for ships and so on. I mean, I grew up in a port town, so, and they had shipyards there, so he used to work at the shipyard. So it's pretty let's say hard work, because you have to hit the propeller and the metal to bend it to your will, basically. Anyway, so usually when he comes back from work, he used to go and sleep, like in the afternoon, before the kids come from school, right? Because back then we used to have school in the afternoon, and because yeah, there's too many kids. So when there's too many kids, they split you into different groups, right? Okay. So normally, you know, that's fine, and he was sleeping, but probably what was happening, I mean, probably, I don't know, maybe it was true. He had the most vivid dream where he claims he was awake, and he saw on the window to his apartment. His was on the 4th floor, so living on the 4th floor, an apartment in an apartment block. And he says, like, hey, I woke up and there was this alien staring back at me through the window, and I got so scared, but I couldn't move, you know, and I couldn't move, and I couldn't do anything. And there was this alien there, and you know, I wasn't a believer before, but after I had this dream, it's not a dream, right? And it took me forever to wake up, and I think you know, they were watching me and all that, and look, this is you know, this is the alien. So he freaked himself. So he was describing in such great detail this encounter, you know, because for him, like, hey, I never believed in this stuff, and now I'm doing. And you know, he was like literally believing it, that it actually happened. So it could be. I used to have the same, sometimes the same things. I used to have these, let's say, very vivid dreams where I kind of knew I was dreaming, but I just couldn't wake up. And you would go and yeah, it used to be super vivid and super like hard to believe that it was nothing, right? You used to see all sorts of things going on, like, and like things coming out of the wall, like cockroaches and other stuff. And it's so funny that when you wake up and you go, like, you open the light or something, and you're like, what's going on? Like, where is this stuff? And it's very hard to believe whether it was a dream or reality, okay? Because you never know. You can never know. Like, okay, some people say that these are dreams. Some people say that, okay, it's just your mind's playing trick on you, and, you know, you haven't yet woken up, and your muscles are, you know, paralyzed or anything because you are sleeping, and so on, right? They offer pretty much a decent explanation, but sometimes when you're passing through that experience, you know, it can be quite scary, and you don't know what to believe. My apologies, I'm coughing here. Not because I'm sick, it's because I had some cola and it got the wrong way. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna let this dream. By the way, I was. This is what's his name? Undersea Green with New Gamboge. Undersea Green with New Gamboge, and this is New Gamboge with rich green gold, right, and a little bit of transparent orange. So I'm gonna add this transparent orange also here in some parts, right? And we're gonna make these pumpkins look really nice and really good. Okay. Dun dun dun. Yeah. So that was one of the scary ones, right? And pretty much Halloweeny. Now, if you want to ask, you know, do they celebrate Halloween in, let's say, the Netherlands? And the answer to that would be no, they don't celebrate the Halloween as, you know, people celebrate it around the world. But the Dutch always love a good party. So if there is a chance to have a good party, they will not say no to it, okay? Let's be very clear. So the only reason that the Dutch are interested in Halloween is because there's a prospect of having a great party. So that's kind of it. However, they do have other dates during the year where, you know, they have the scary stories, or the, you know, the supernatural come in and play tricks. And I think one of those stories that I heard is about this, let's say, what's so-called white lady, or the way lady dressed in white. So the story goes that there's this lady that died heartbroken because, you know, her husband cheated on her, things like that. And she is roaming sometimes, especially in the areas where you have the dunes, you know, like by the sea and so on. She's apparently roaming those areas, and she's caring of people because, you know, she keeps thinking like it's her husband that cheated on her and all of that stuff. So it's called the White Lady. And I guess there are a few instances of that. The funny part is because the Netherlands is surrounded technically by water and by everything, majority of these stories are about water, about, you know, you're by the sea and something happens. So yeah, pretty interesting scary stories. Now if I need to think about what was the scariest thing that ever happened to you guys, did you ever encounter something like this, like supernatural or scary or any other stuff? Because to be honest, I used to be scared a lot by ghosts, as in I used to believe in ghosts, okay? And I have no idea why I used to believe in ghosts. And it could be the upbringing I had. You know, like when you grow up in a fairly religious setting, let's put it this way, you tend to believe, like if you believe in angels and demons and so on, right, you start to tend to believe in ghosts as well. It's kind of a natural thing to believe, right? Like if you believe in some supernatural entities, why wouldn't ghosts be real, right? Why wouldn't all of that be real? And I used to be scared, like super scared at nights, and sometimes, especially like now it's raining, okay? It's like really bad weather. It's moody, it's raining. Would I be able in the past to, for example, be alone in the house without anybody on this type of weather? No, I would be scared out of my mind, you know, because the ghost would be coming or something would happen and so on. Nothing really terrible happened. The one instance where, you know, really freaked me out, and I think it freaked my mom out also, is when I was younger and I used to be in primary school. Let me put it this way. I used to go to primary school and I used to come back home. You know, you come back home alone. Nowadays it's a bit frowned upon that the kids are home alone when they come back from school, right? Back then it was not a problem. I used to be like maybe 12 years old or whatever, used to make my own food and that would be fine, right? And then wait for my mom to come. But I always had this thing where I used to sleep in the afternoon. So after coming from school, I used to go and have a nap to prepare, because in the evening I used to do my homework. So I fell asleep, and because I was scared of ghosts, I would always sleep with the light open. So I, you know, opened all my lights because it was winter, it was a little bit darker. I left all the lights open in all the rooms, and I was sleeping in bed. And the thing that I did wrong is I closed the door, but I left the key in the door. So what happens when you leave the key in the door is nobody can open the door anymore. So I forgotten about that. And then my mom came and she tried to open the door with her key, right? And of course, because my key was in it, she couldn't. I was sleeping in my bedroom. Then she starts knocking, right? Because she noticed from the outside that all the lights are open. So she thought I would be home, right? So she knocks. Nothing happens. She starts to panic a little bit, right? I was still sleeping at this moment. The funny part on the other side, I was having the weirdest dream. And by the dream, I say, I think I was dreaming. Because I was dreaming and I was seeing perfectly fine that my mom was at the other side of the door. I was like, oh, mom is here. So what happened? I got out of the bed and I went and I opened the door. And you think, oh, so Claudia, you woke up. No, I wasn't awake. I actually went, I opened the door. My mom was telling me afterwards, like the story, right? Opened the door, and my mom was freaking out, like, what's going on? But apparently, I had my eyes closed, right? And I was still sleeping. I mumbled something like, welcome home, and then I said, I'm going back to bed. But I still had my eyes closed. So I was seeing everything that was happening. In my mind, I saw the scene. And in my mind, I was awake, right? In my mind. But my mom was telling me the whole time you had your eyes closed, but you went and just opened the doors and all that stuff. You just went back to bed and then you just were asleep again. My mom was so confused. I was confused as well. And then I woke up and I was telling mom, no, I was awake. And my mom, no way you were awake. Your eyes were closed, So it was like a sort of out of body experience, like a weird dream where I guess what happens is your mind knows, let's say the place where you live, your mind knows. Like you could technically, because you walked so much into that region, into that apartment, let's say you're sitting in the apartment, your mind, although you might think it doesn't, your mind knows it with the eyes closed, right? Your mind doesn't need anything special to know. So your mind creates this map of the entire apartment or the entire house that you have, right? So whenever you're dreaming or you're having this weird out of body experiences, actually your mind is very good at projecting everything that it remembers out of the home. And I think this is what was happening. Like my mind was somehow I was kind of sleepwalking, and my mind was just filling in the gaps, and that's why I was able to walk without having any problems or to go around without actually being awake, right? Because my mind was filling in the gaps, basically. Sort of saying scary in the same time, but yeah, that was part of me being young and restless. Sort of say was yeah, that was one of the scariest experiences ever. And I'm not sure if it was the scariest for me. I got scared afterward when I heard the story from my mom, right? I was like, okay, what's going on? What just happened? How come my mom says I had my eyes closed when I remember everything? But I think that was more scary for my mom, because she wanted to, first of all, she wanted to, how moms are, they start yelling at you like, oh, you left your shoes out, or she wanted to go like, oh, you left the key in the door and I couldn't get in. But then when she saw me like that, she was like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? Right? She didn't know what was happening and why that was happening. So I think that was a little bit more scary for her than it was for me in the end, right? So yeah, that was the scary stories number 2. Now, although I say right now that I'm no longer afraid of the dark or whatever, right? I have to say that sometimes it's still scary. I mean, I was biking like a week or two back, and I started biking after work, and it already started to get dark, but by the time I was coming back, it was night already, right? And by night, I mean, I am biking through a forest, which is interesting on its own, and there's no more light, so I had to have only the light from the bike. I mean, each bike has a light in front, right? And I was biking through it. And I started to get a little bit scared, but I don't know why I was so scared, because there was nobody there, right? I mean, people don't go to that area really in the night, and I can understand why, right? Um, but because I was biking through the forest, and because you had the trees and everything around, and you would hear the sounds, and let me put it this way, the sounds are probably just the animals in the forest, and there are animals in the forest, because I've seen previously, I've seen deers and foxes and so on. So there are definitely many animals, and probably when it's night, they tend to come out, and it's fine. But I was hearing like all this, like the leaves rustling and so on, and dark, and you constantly look left and right, right? Where is the next thingy coming out of, Uh, which I don't know if I'm overreacting here and so on, but I always thought, oh, I'm older now, and I'm a grown woman, and I should not be afraid of the dark or afraid of the forest. But for some reason, sometimes I still get scared. So no shame in getting scared, no shame whatsoever. I still think it's funny how things work and how things are, right? Once all of this is dry, it's not yet dry, right? I'm going to add shadows and all sorts of different things to it all, so that we pronounce the shadows and everything on the part, right? Now the question is, what do I want? I want it to have a darker leaf, because I don't want everything to be the same color, right? So it needs to have some leaves that are really standing out. So the question is, should I do them with purple and brown, or should I do them with red and brown? Let's try to see some purple and some brown. Purple sounds nice. Okay. So, special Halloween stories, huh? Okay. There used to be when I used to watch TV. I mean, nowadays I don't watch TV anymore. It's so funny. I only watch Netflix or stuff like that. But when you used to watch TV, you used to be like, okay, there's a certain period that comes, and then there's a certain type of movie that you see on TV. And this used to be the time when, all the Halloween movies would come out, and all the scary movies would be out and about. Okay, that just looks okay. And yeah, we've seen quite some scary movies, and Nightmare on Elm Street and all the other, The Saw, and so on. And yeah, so funny. One night, don't know if I told you this story, but the story involves playing games, right? And one of the games I used to play a lot is Resident Evil. You guys know the movies, right? I mean, it's an entire franchise with the Resident Evil people. But back then we used to play this. So one of my friends, and by friends, yes, he was male, don't worry about it, but we grew up together, okay? We went to the same kindergarten together. So really my best buddy ever. He was coming to me to install me games. We used to play together, and he was staying the whole night there. Again, one of these nights with rain and thunder and all the stuff that comes, right? Like a real horror night, right? So he installs a lot of the games, and one of the games he installs on my computer because I had this new computer, and he always had games, was Resident Evil. And of course the old version of Resident Evil, I haven't played the new versions anymore. I'm sure there are many new versions, but anyway, so it was my first time playing like a super scary game. I usually played like things like Zelda, or they're not scary, they're more like adventure, Tomb Raider, right? And then he's going like, okay, I'll show you how the game plays and all of that, but please be mindful. It's gonna be scary, there's with zombies and so on. So I'm going to tell you when a monster comes, like a big monster comes, because the way the Resident Evil is being made, or was being made before, you had these monsters just appear out of all of a sudden. So it's like, okay, don't get scared, just chillax, and there's gonna be monsters coming, and I'm gonna tell you when they're coming so that you don't scream, right? Because my parents were asleep, we were in a room, Saturday evening, playing games, and before anybody goes off in the comments going like, what, you were like young and playing games all night? Yes, usually if it was not a school night, so if it was in the weekend, like Friday evening and so on, I was allowed to play games the whole night if I so wanted to, right? My weekend was my own. That was my parents' rule, right? So, I could have my friends over and we can play games, or we can do what's called a LAN party, and it was pretty fun. So we used to do that quite a lot, right? Either me going to my friends or they coming to me and playing. So anyway, we were playing there, and then he goes and says, Claudia, don't be scared, don't scream. When I'm gonna turn around the corner. Oh, hi from Turkey. Hi, do you in Turkey celebrate Halloween? That's just a question. I mean, I know that probably not, but has the bug of Halloween reached you? Just a question. Anyway, so playing the games, and he says like, Claudia, don't worry, once we round this corner, there's gonna be a big monster coming up, but don't worry, we have all the weapons, we have all the stuff, don't get scared. And I was like, okay, I'm not getting scared, there's a monster coming from around the corner when we go on the corner in this game. So he turns the corner, all of a sudden there's the cutscene with the monster coming, and I start screaming. And I was like, he's looking at me like, why are you screaming? I told you there's a monster coming. I was like, I don't know, it's just like out of instinct. My mom came and she's like, what's going on, why are you screaming? My mom was like thinking something terrible has happened. I was like, okay, it was a monster in the game. And my mom just flips out like, for this you were waking me up, blah blah blah. It was so funny that we were in that situation. So yeah, there's like the scariest things that happened to me always happen during a game or so. Because in real life, although I'm imagining a lot of scary stuff, in real life I never had technically a really scary encounter. I never had it. Don't know about you. Maybe you guys had a scary encounter. So tell me stories, either from Halloween or from scary encounters. I want to know. In the meantime, I'm fixing some of these leaves here. Okay. It's gonna dry much. I mean, now you're thinking, oh my god, purple, it's going to dry out differently, and the reason why I'm so confident is because I've used this purple so many times, so I know how it's going to dry out. So although it looks like I've made a mess and then it's too dark and then all that stuff, don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Okay. I know what I'm doing. So I cannot pronounce your name. Am I assuming it's Tariq Bey or I don't know how to pronounce your name, but welcome to my channel and welcome to this live stream. This is a special Halloween one where we go and we have some fun with some watercolors, and we are just painting a little bit, a tiny illustration here, right? I'm once it's all dry and so on, I'm going to go with like grays and so on, and do all sorts of nifty things. But for now, this is the illustration that we're doing. And this is, like I said, a last minute illustration because I almost forgot today. I went to sleep. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I went for a bike ride today. My mistake was that I went for the bike ride without actually eating, and I shouldn't have, because then I crashed. Once I came home, I was so tired because when you're biking for a long time, you deplete all your energy. So I fell asleep on the couch, and I barely woke up in time for the live stream, as in 1 hour before. So I had to come up with a design. Usually I come up with a design on Sunday during the day, and I have enough time to make the design work and do all the cool stuff. This time I didn't. I only had maybe half an hour or something like that, just half an hour time to deal with it. So yeah, this is what happens when you don't plan good enough. So lesson learned, I will eat before my next bike ride because now I know what happens when you are biking and you are not taking care of eating beforehand. Okay, luckily I biked before the rain started, because otherwise I would normally I don't mind the rain. When I'm biking or when I'm running or whatever. But now that it's autumn, the rain has become a little bit more colder. So let's say in the summer I wouldn't mind. I would bike no matter what, in the rain, no matter what, everywhere. But now, yeah, it's a little bit more different. So let me see. I have some tiny leaves and some tiny things that I still like, these kind of weird shaped leaves, and I'm wondering what should I do for them. If you're wondering what color this is Perlin. It's called Perlin Violet and it's a really nice color. It's a really nice violet color. I'm pretty sure that I wanted to do some of them. I'm just wondering if I should bring in some blues and some dark blues here, but we'll see. I haven't decided yet what I will do with the leaves. Look, there's a leaf here that I forgot to do the veins, so I'll do it now, and then we'll make that one. Okay, so this is like behind the scenes. I tried to make it more Halloweeny or more autumny. I put my mushrooms here. I used to have those mushrooms. If you guys remember my live streams from last Inktober, I used to have these mushrooms basically the whole time, and they used to be super cool. For some reason, I stopped doing these kind of things, but I'm just thinking I'll just bring them back because it was fun. It was fun to have a little bit more decoration on my desk, right? Okay, those leaves. I think we should do it a little bit more red, maybe some alizarin crimson. I am trying really hard to go around this. Will be with some red and some which color should I do? Red with some of this orange. Yeah, that's okay. Brings a nice contrast to the whole piece. Okay, so the red I'm using is called alizarin crimson, and the orange I'm using is called transparent orange, if you guys want to know actual colors of things. And after October, I actually wanted to try out some. So I have a wish. I wanted to learn more about. What I'm doing here is I went over the line, and I'm just taking a damp brush and getting the color out. It's okay. There's this challenge called Huevember, where you go and you learn how to do things with only color. I mean, you explore colors and what works together, what doesn't, things like that. Okay. Once it's dry, I'm gonna go over it and I'm gonna deepen that color. Don't worry. I need a second layer on the leaves also, on some of the leaves, not all of them. But you know, this is okay. So I'm really considering if I should do Huevember. I have a book that I wanted to go through, and the book explains some color combinations, and depending on the style that you want to have, right? Like what color combinations would work for a Jugend style. What color combinations will work for different types of styles in watercolor, right? We'll talk about watercolor. And I wanted to get to know my watercolor palette and start learning, you know, what works well together, what works well and what doesn't. So I was planning to do this series, and some of the exercises that I was planning to do was, I'll give you an example. Like, let's assume that I have these flowers or this composition, like this part. Like, how would I make it if I would use cool colors? How would it look like if I would use cool colors? How would it look like if I would use warm colors, and so on. So by playing with the colors, I'm changing completely a piece. So for the same piece, for the same design, how will that change if I have a different color and if I have different layout? I mean, that would be interesting to figure out, and I think Huevember is a good challenge to have. And it's a pun on November, obviously, right? But it's a bit different than Inktober, because I believe I've gone above and beyond with my drawing in the last year. I mean, this is my 1 year, let's say, if I look back 1 year, what have I learned? I think I've learned how to draw pretty good, and even with minimal preparation, I'm still doing okay composition wise and everything. So I think I need to just step up and do the next thing and come up with interesting ways to give emotion to a piece by using colors, right? A nice idea to study color combinations, etc. Yeah, and that's a really cool idea, I think. Because I'm also noticing I'm using the same colors over and over again. I have my favorites, right? I have so many watercolor palettes and so many so many options, and I'm wondering, right, should I just be using more? Should I be doing more, you know? Because that is, I mean, I don't want to stay stagnant. I mean, I learned how to draw flowers. That was the whole purpose of last year, and this year, right? I know how to draw different things. I'm no longer scared. But now let's take it up a notch, you know? Let's see how via color you can impart a feeling. And that might be something that I need to learn, or something that I'll be like, okay, I'm not very good at that. We'll see. Anyway, that was my idea. Yeah, Johan says, yeah, that's a nice idea to start edgy color combinations. Yes, right? I mean, that will be a nice next year challenge, we can start in November and we can go the whole year, right? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna zap this because I want it to dry, and I cannot wait to for it to dry on its own. Okay, we've done the drying. Okay, I know it's very noisy. Some people use a hair dryer. I'm just curious. The hair dryer, that must take a very long time. Like, I don't think I'll be very patient with a hair dryer. The hair dryer is not really that strong, so by the time things actually dry, it's taking a long time. So I don't think I'm the right person to do hair dryer stuff. But I know a lot of watercolor artists. I am assuming here that they're using the hair dryer because they don't want the color to dry that fast, because you know you can still get some fancy schmancy watercolor effects if it dries out slightly slower. But as I am not a very patient woman, I have to say that we'll just have to live with it like this. This is my second layer of some of the leaves, okay? So, yeah. And you might wonder what I want to learn with Uvember. I just want to learn these kind of combinations. I want to learn what are the complementary, what goes well, what doesn't go well. I want to make some sort of recipes where I have some recipes of color combinations, because here, like, look at this, I'm using all the colors available on my palette, right? I'm not keeping it 2 or 3 colors, or I'm not keeping it necessarily all that cohesive. So, you know, learning that might be something nice. Okay, let's see. I think the berries needs to be purplish in color. Purple bluish in color. Let me just dry. Okay. By the way, I made a mistake here, and I accidentally took the paper out of the... So this is supposed to be a block and the block is supposed to be super glued to it, so when you're doing something like with heat, it doesn't bubble up, or when you're adding too much water. But I accidentally removed this part of the glue here, and now I'm regretting it. I'm really regretting it. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, let's try a different type of colors there. I would say some of them needs to be some cobalt blue. And combo blue can be really nicely mixed maybe with this one, ultramarine violet. And why am I saying ultramarine? Ultramarine violet has a hint of blue in it, so you know, it works to mix and match, because it's gonna be blue with blue. Let's see if I did adjust it to the color. Maybe I didn't, but it's gonna be fine. And I will add the highlights with white later on, so I'm not worried. I'm not overly worried about it. Okay. This is not what I was expecting. You see, sometimes you make really bad decisions, and in watercolor, those decisions could be not working in your favor. It's okay. We'll figure it out. It doesn't always have to be perfect, right? Sometimes you just have to roll with it. I cannot always salvage a piece, right? Well, Halloween is supposed to be scary, so let's do scary. Let's do scary. I'm gonna do violet again. This time I'm gonna do Schminke Violet. Schminke Violet is a little bit more opaque and a bit more stronger. So the ultramarine violet was not strong enough to overpower the other one, so you know, you have to make do. I think the background of this entire piece needs to be way darker than the ensuring elements here, but it's gonna take a while. Okay. We are doing some cobalt blue. For those of you who don't know what cobalt blue is, it's a really pretty blue color. I haven't unlocked yet the blue colors, right? As in, when I'm saying I haven't unlocked them, what does it mean? I don't know how to mix and match the blues to make anything good look good, because I haven't used them that much. I'm not a person that uses blues too much, blues and purples, so maybe this is where November sounds like a really good idea, because to be honest, I am just grasping the straws here, really grasping the straws. Okay. No. I thought I will do Viridian, but that's a bad idea. I'll just do this fancy purple color. A fancy purple color is called Wisteria. That should be fine. It really needs the white highlights to come in and have some highlights. Okay. We're really gonna use some olive green to handle all of this leaf. Let's see. Dum dum dum. The question is that I have always, let's assume that I wasn't working. Would I actually like it? Would I actually, if I wasn't doing the job that I'm doing, like the one that earns me money, and let's say that I would become a full-time painter or something, the question I would have is, would I like it? Is that actually something that I would enjoy? And that is one of the hardest questions ever, because I have no idea. I have no idea. Okay. I know that there are some people I follow that they've decided, you know, I'm gonna make this job my full-time job. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I like to paint, but then for it to become my main job, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would. What if I get bored? I mean, I do get bored a lot of times, and I would hate to get bored. The reason why I enjoy it so much is because it's something different that I'm doing other than work, right? It's not my work. It's something that I'm doing that gives me pleasure, and it's not as let's say stressful as work would be. So the question I have is, you know, would it become just like work, and then would it become stressful if this job will become the full-time job that I'm doing, right? And I don't think I can make that decision, because I think I'm scared right now. I would be scared to make such a decision, because to be honest, what if I'm making a mistake? Okay. See what happens when you do orange with, when you mix orange with green, it becomes kind of brown. So remember, orange and green becomes brown. By the way, this skull is submerged in this potion, so you know, underneath it's the potion, and we're gonna make it different colors, but above the water it's gonna be gray, right? And I'm gonna have to let it dry out a little bit, because I don't want it to be too much. When it dries out, then you can do an extra layer on top, and then we can go and do some proper parts. But this is a potion, right? And the skull is inside the potion. And outside of it, it's going to be gray. Let's see, what grays should we do? Some gray titanium. And some neutral tint, maybe. I mean, this skull, right? So when it dries out, I'll make this part much darker, right? But for now, it's okay. And then there's the smoke that comes out, and I think the smoke should be still some version of the green, because you know there's the skull is emitting that, right? It's a potion, so that's why. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Look, that because the green has gone into the gray and so on, makes it much more crazy a little bit in a way, right? Now the question is, what should I do with the flowers? That is a question I will probably have to answer. I am starting to add some more shadows here and there, or shadowy parts here and there. Because that's the only way. Okay. And then in this part, this needs to be much darker. And then on this part, this needs to be way darker. And then I will add the darkest green here, right? Okay. I'm darkening some things up, making them pop a little bit more. So don't worry, I don't want it to be looking bland. Okay. The new gumbosh, the problem with new gumbosh is that it's pretty opaque, and I don't like opaque. I personally don't like opaque colors. It stresses me out, because then I don't see the lines anymore, you know? Cobalt blue is way too mellow for my taste. I need them to be much darker. I need them to be having oomph. Okay. The same way for this one. Wisteria is a nice color, but man, it's so not happening there. So I'm just gonna do the perlin, and then I'm gonna come with the white highlights and do the whole white highlight thingy, and it's okay. Like I said, I feel like I haven't made the greatest of choices with the berries. So yeah. Okay. I'm still not knowing what should I do as colors for the flowers, to be honest. And I'm thinking maybe some moon glow and some stuff. Moon glow and shadow violet. Let's see. Moon glow is right next to cobalt. Moon glow is a really nice color, and it's also super granulating. So I'm just adding a little bit, and then I'm gonna go and spread it around. Okay. So you can see how dark this one becomes. And I'm just adding water, so you can see that it was pretty dark in the beginning, not so dark now anymore, which is good. And the accent on this one is gonna be with quinacridone rose, because you need something to lift it up. So let me see, where is the quinacridone rose? Permanent magenta. This is the quinacridone rose. Yes, let's do it. You can see here. This is the accent. Okay. I think those ones are cool. Those two colors are cool. I think it will dry out pretty well. And I'm leaving on purpose some white spots there. Okay. And that's because the flowers needs to take you also a little bit away from all the purples and greens and stuff, right? So we're just gonna go all the way the other direction. Down, down, down. And this is Moon Glow by Daniel Smith. If you wanna have something, right? And then it's gonna be fine. I don't have that many flowers. I don't know why I even bothered with flowers, because the pumpkins are enough. And to be honest, it's not one of my proudest designs, right? I feel if I would have not slept, I would have had more time to think of a proper design, okay? But since you cannot have both the cake and eat it, this is the consequences of me being way tired. That should teach me to have food before I go exercise, man, because otherwise I'll make these mistakes. Okay. It looks like blood red. Is this spooky enough for a flower? I think it is spooky enough for flowers, right? I think we have enough spookiness. And of course, all those berries, we're gonna have white highlights, don't worry. And then I'm going to add the black stamen here. It's okay, right? It's gonna be a lot more details coming in. Look, I forgot something here. I forgot this part. Come and do something. Yeah, let's continue. Moonglow. Sometimes I feel like I need to just go back to the basics that I used to know and not experiment so much. I'm experimenting a lot lately. And a lot of times experimenting is good, but when you're experimenting during live streams, that's when things maybe won't be as exciting. Okay. I really like this quinacridum rose. It's really strong color. It's a really nice color. Yeah. Maybe I should stop experimenting that much. Okay. The last flower. And the middles, I'll probably do some nice yellow in the middle. Just so that I tie it out with all the other ones. And now some more quinacridum rose. I just let the color do its own thing because I'm doing wet on wet, okay? So that is something that is nice. Okay. What was I thinking? Neutral tint. I needed some more neutral tint here. Neutral tint is really neutral purple, which is really nice. I've decided what I'm gonna do with these ones. I'm gonna make them really red. I'm gonna use alizarin crimson and perlin maroon. Okay. We will start with this one. Alizarin crimson can be quite tricky. It will dry out a little bit more better. Okay. We're gonna have some, as in lighter. Better means lighter. I'm hoping here. I'm hoping that it will dry out lighter. Don't know why I thought it will dry out lighter, but okay. The nice part about it is that I can still lift some of the color out, right? So that's good. I will add some orange as well, and then I will darken everything up with perlin maroon. Okay. You see, I'm lifting the color there. And I'm lifting the color here. You can lift the color. This is a color that is liftable. Let's put it this way, okay? Tum tum tum. And then I have one more to do, which is here. Tum tum tum. So do you guys think I should do also a Christmas series? Or do you think that it's not really needed? I mean, everybody's doing Christmas stuff. Don't know. I'm feeling like I should be doing something, but I mean, the only thing I can think of in a Christmas series is to do things like food illustrations, right? Don't know why I'm thinking food series, food illustrations. But yeah, I'm not sure if I should go that way. Perlin Maroon. Perlin Maroon is really dark. Okay. I feel like a better use of our time is to do the Huevember or the hue thingy, right? I don't think I should worry too much about, oh, is this something that I need to do, or I don't know. That's just adding some blue to give the illusion of the glass. Nothing too fancy. Okay. Now, if you're wondering what color would the butterfly be, I think I'm gonna do Potter's Pink and then really dark violet here. So let's do this. Potter's Pink. Okay. Look at that granulation. Isn't it weird? Like, it's really granulating. It's really, really granulating. And then this one, this is gonna be super dark. Whoa, I should have let it dry, man. Stupid. Should have just let it dry. Why didn't I let it dry? Why was I impatient? Guys, you see where impatient leads? Like in watercolor, if you're impatient, you make mistakes like this. This needs to be brown. Okay. Make what you want to make. Do your own stuff. Make what you want to make. Yeah. I think this is what I'll do. Okay. Let's do this other one. It's gonna dry perfectly fine, and I'm going to add lots of highlights. Lots of highlights, man. Okay. I think I added way too much brown here. I need more purple. Yeah. And then clean up this part. It's a cool motor, and it's okay to be like this. Okay. Once that's dry, we're gonna go ahead and do some different things. And now, let me zap it. Each year is gonna be the same stuff. You did that for a year. I don't think you need it anymore. Follow your own heart and make what excites you to make. Oh, okay, damn, that's true. Now the question is gonna be, what's gonna be the background for this piece? I mean, it needs to be way darker than everything, so it makes everything pop. But I'm just wondering, what should be the background, right? I'm using a number 8, by the way, and I'm gonna make the stamens really pop out with this black, because why not? Okay. I did say I'm gonna make it with yellow. I'm surprised that the kids are not awake yet. I actually had uninterrupted time to paint for a while now, right? I was expecting that they will be already in and they will start playing with everything that I have on the desk. But apparently they're not in. I wonder where my white gel pen is though. Let me see. Okay, if I figure out where the white gel pen is. Wait. Okay, I have white gel pen. Let's do this. What was I doing? I was moving the screen back and forward because the white gel pen is behind the screen. So this is the Uniball Signal. And by the way, this one. This type of pumpkin has these bumps all over. So this is what I'm doing here with black afterwards, right? Of course I'm gonna add more dots and stuff. I just want to add details, right? Okay. So I said that once that one dries, I will make this part of this a little bit more darker. It's part of the skull then here. Right, and then I want to make this part darker. This is where the skull is. So the skull is darker than everything else. So, you know. Okay. Now, white gel pen is starting off. And I'm adding dots everywhere and stuff because this is what will make it pop. Okay. Okay. The Uniball Signal Pen. By the way, the Uniball has many white gel pens, and you can see that I have a smaller one here. This actually different sizes, and this is the bigger size. That means you can have a little bit more white ink to go along. Because the tiny one, that's also cute and nice. But it will never be possible for me to add things to watercolors that is super like dark. And only with the bigger size I can do that. So yeah. You know what I miss? I miss also just doodling. I miss just doodling. I think I will have to start again. I used to doodle a lot with a white gel pen on black paper, just doodling. And I used to just draw flowers and stuff. And that can be very therapeutic, right? Yep. And now I'm just making sure that this is dry, right? I'm adding some veins here with some white gel pen to this butterfly, and then here I'm adding lots of dots on the dark area. It's like spots. Okay. And now the question still remains, what should we do for the background? Should it be black? I mean, what's a spooky background? I'm just wondering. That one should have been okay by now. I'm doing buff titanium, by the way, for the body of the mod. I almost want to do black. I almost want to do black. I'm just wondering if I should. Nobody has any idea. This is the hardest decision ever. Which color should you do? The problem with black on watercolor, black is quite a transparent color, so I'm going to need lots of layers to do something that is black. What about the very dark green? So I have this very dark green, which is like pearlescent green. So what if we do that one? Would that work? Black with black red or star sky? Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. So I'm doing really dark green down because this is actually the bottom, and we're gonna move into towards black and indigo up. Okay, so that's how it's gonna look like. This is a really dark green. It's called pearlescent green. Anything that has the word pearlescent in it, it's a really dark color. Trust me. It's really nice, but really dark colors. So the same way with pearlescent maroon, pearlescent red, pearlescent violet. Okay. Marlena is saying hello. Hello, Marlena. I switch brushes because I need to walk in between everything. So that's gonna be difficult. So the brush I'm using is a silver black velvet brush. It's a number 4. For those of you who didn't know what number this was. And it has a really pointy tip. And because of the pointy tip, I can actually go in between and do lots of things. Okay. Okie dokie. So what did we say? We said indigo. Indigo is a really dark blue. Let me add some. And indigo, and I have dark blue and indigo, and then black. Okay, so then let's see if that works. Yeah. It's gonna dry totally different. Like you're thinking right now, this indigo looks a lot like black, and probably is, but when it dries, it's gonna be much more muted. Ask me how I know. It's because I've been using indigo a lot lately. So this is the most time consuming ever thing that I'll do, because this needs to be done. I'm going to be very careful, and let's see how long is this background going to take me. Ah, I put my fingers in it. Why did I put my fingers in it? I put my fingers in the green. I almost wish I had a layer of Arabic gum so I can protect the artwork, so I can actually go around and just do the background. Sometimes I'm not thinking very well. I should have done that. It's okay. We'll survive. Okay. I'm gonna continue there. This is gonna be a time-intensive operation, trust me. I'm hoping I can finish in the next 20 minutes. And then when it dries, I will add lots of stars, because that's what makes this a nice thing. Okay. The indigo went a little bit into this one, but it's okay. I can kind of fix it. Let's see. These things are very intricate, so that's why I need to be very much concentrating. So if you're wondering why I stopped talking, it's because I'm really concentrating. I don't want to make mistakes here, because mistakes are gonna be expensive. So, oh, my cat is awake. Oh no, he's gonna come here and he's gonna put his paws into the watercolors. Hi, Happy. Welcome. Just at the end. Don't know if you see him. He's going to start playing with things soon. Okay. I'm going to be very careful here around these leaves. Normally a background is not that difficult to do, but when I did this intricate design, why didn't I think about it? How hard it's going to be to color in the background. I should have thought about it better. I'm not very good at foresight, huh? Okay, he probably realized, my cat realized that he cannot do anything here. So he just went away. That's good. I didn't want him to put his paws. The last time he put his paws into the ink, and then he started walking around with inked paws everywhere. And then that was a nightmare to clean. Oh, he's back. The little monster is back. Hi. Hi, Happy. Don't drink my watercolor water, you know, it's not good for you. He wants to drink the watercolor water. Uh-oh. He's starting smelling everything. It's gonna be interesting. And maybe you're gonna see his head soon, because I'm sure he's gonna come. Okay, his head, you can see his head right now. He's trying to figure out what to do. He's such a cutie. Okay. I didn't even realize that we're being live for almost 2 hours, man. 2 hours. That is a long time to be live. Almost. Let's see. Hi, Happy. How are you, darling? He's been sleeping the entire day. Randomly. Oh yeah. Now it's happening. Now he's like realizing that I'm doing something and he needs to put his head in it. Man, he's happy sometimes. It's very funny. Oh, don't eat the lights. He's chewing on the lights. You should see him. He's chewing on the lights. No. Don't chew on the lights, Happy. It's not good for you, maybe. Okay. I'm trying really hard to finalize everything. By the time Happy starts eating the whole entirety of the lights. Hey, leave the lights alone. Why are you eating the lights? He's chewing on the lights. He's gonna get zapped soon. Well, luckily, the lights are not in the power. It's just with batteries. So I'm not overly worried about it. But I also wanna still use the lights. Okay. You put them on. You put them on, Happy. It cannot taste good, Hop. I don't understand why you keep chewing on them. Keeps chewing on the plastic of the lights. I think he's like, oh, I'm hungry, or it's maybe his way of telling me he's hungry. That'll be fun. Okay. I'm really trying here. I probably won't be able to finish on this live stream with the entire thing, but I'm sure that I will finish it in time so I can put it on Instagram. Right? Okay. Now. That was a blob of color. Indigo is one of my favorite colors. Don't know why, to be honest, but it's really cute. Not only cute, but it's a good color. It's liftable, right? So It's an okay color. Okay, almost there. You know what I want to do? I want to finish at least by the bottle. Not do the other part yet, but at least I want to finish by the bottle. Or yeah, man, if I went this far, I might as well finish it. I might as well finish it. For those of you who think I'm crazy, I'm not. It's just I haven't thought about it in a composition wise. I should have made many more leaves and flowers and not have so much space left out for the background, right? Normally that's how you fix it, so you don't have to do so much work on a background. But yeah, sometimes I don't plan well in advance, and this is what happens. Okay, what I will do here, right, I will add white lines and so on just to demarcate this, all of this, right, and then I'll add dots everywhere, and only this part is left. So let's try to do that part. Hi Happy. And hopefully Happy doesn't start eating my brush. He did that in the past, so it wouldn't be the first time he's like, I'm gonna eat mommy's brush. Yeah, are you tired? Are you still tired after you slept the whole day? You slept, Happy. The whole day. Yeah. The lights are fun. I don't even know if you're seeing the lights just disappearing. He's just picking them up. He's like, I'm going to play with the lights, mommy. So don't bug me. He's unsure what to do with them. AKA, are they food? Are they not food? He's unsure. Okay. Hi, Happy. Oh yes, go and stretch. You know what he's doing? He's stretching and he's pulling on my cables. Okay, now he's gonna go to the window. Phew. I've escaped. I have escaped. You know what the funny part is? Where I don't think even if I would be full-time artist, I'll be able to make art all the time, because this guy is gonna be constantly around. Like now I was lucky that he was sleeping and didn't come bother me, but I'm pretty sure he will be bothering me a lot. Okay. The sky is not all the same color, right? The sky has different variations, so that's why I'm trying really hard. I'm not gonna make it all black or all anything. The sky definitely has variations. Almost ready. Okay, we are almost ready. I will zap it again. So now let's play around with some white. Okay. I'm just adding some white lines here and there to make sure that these ones stay popping, right? The same way as here. Okay. Not everywhere is needed because not everywhere is so dark, but a lot of these ones are, so let's make sure that they stay popping. Dum, dum, dum. Especially the berries. The berries needs a little bit of help to stand out against the sky. Okay, and now if you're wondering what should we do, I'm going to add some stars. Just dots. And remind me next time never to make the mistake of what I did here, leaving way too much I'm leaving way too much space for the sky, and that's not good. Right. Okay, that is still okay, right? It's beautiful and the colors are gorgeous. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It could have been much better if I would have just prepared before, right? What did I want to tell you guys? Have fun. Enjoy Halloween. I understand that a lot of you are already on Halloween right now and, you know, having fun. Have fun, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday with another piece for which I'm hoping I'm going to prepare properly, right? And it's not going to be like this kind of random design. It's not a random design, but you know, still I wish I would have done better. Okay, but remember, November is Huevember, so I'm going to do something different on the next live streams. It's going to be more about colors and how do we come up with color schemes and so on. So see you then, right? In the meantime, have fun, enjoy,